Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, the final match of Week 2, Season 42. We won the last round and we are now going for a 3-0 week. We did climb back up into Kyber 2, but this is a Kyber 3 bracket. That's why things are going a little bit more easily for me. That's usually what happens is I'll bounce back and forth between Kyber 2 and Kyber 3, having a little bit more struggles in Kyber 2 with my lack of GLs, and then in Kyber 3, a pretty strong performance to climb back up. But we have been, or we were until this week, we were on a 5-month streak of entirely Kyber 2 brackets. And so we will try and start a new streak as we enter Kyber 2 again if we finish this match off with a win, which will be pretty important. I like to stay within Kyber 2 as much as possible. But that is getting a little bit harder and harder every week and every month. Here, my final matchup is up against Fear itself. He's a 9.39 million player, so we have a small advantage on GP. His Zetas are basically right in line with mine at 230 to my 232. Omicrons, though, we've got a small little advantage here. I've got 19 to his 16. He's a 5 GL player to my 4. 129 relics to my 121. So he's a small advantage there, but a couple of those relics are probably related to that additional GL. And then his depth, though, is where we start seeing the differences start to creep in. He only has 177 characters above Gear 11 plus, whereas I have 243. Almost the entire roster of the game. There's a few, the ones I'm missing, there are only 2 Marquee level characters, node level characters who are at below Gear 11. And the remainder of those characters are either like the Conquest character or the Galactic Legends or Third Sister. The relic units here, we're pretty close. I've got a small advantage in the tier 5. He's got a number of lower level relics, which softens the difference that we have. Like I have 0 tier 1, tier 2. There's no real reason to leave him at that level. And then the tier 7s, he's got a small advantage on the tier 8s, but 0 tier 9 relics. And you know what that means? It means he doesn't have the Profundity. Now, 6-dot mods, we are looking at, he's got a sizable amount of them, and his modding is pretty strong. But he is slightly behind me on both. So I'm at 25.9 to his 25.6, and with the top 5 under 500 average, I am at plus 17 and he is at plus 16.7. And I think the 3rd best on both of these metrics. He's probably falling into like 4 or 5 on some of these metrics here in terms of the bracket. Counts, though, this looks a little bit different. He's actually coming out well far ahead in the 25 plus, but it just probably means most of those are probably 25 speed, whereas I probably have a few more in that 29, 28 range, which is why I'm coming out slightly ahead. His 25 plus speed mods are probably holding the average down. Now the 20 plus, this is where I come ahead again with a meaningful but not huge advantage. And the 15 plus, though, this becomes a little bit stronger, where I have about, what is that, 60-ish? Datacrons, we are looking at, he's participating in Datacrons, which is probably part of the reason why the 2 of us, as 2 of the lower quantity GL players, are showing up in the winners round, the championship round of this Grand Arena. But he does not have Jabba, he does have Lord Vader, no Sith Eternal Emperor for him, but mine is only at Gear 12, and then he does have Rey and Swolo. When we look at Omicrons, his Malgus is weaker at Relic 4. His Raddus is only Gear 11, probably getting pretty close to the Profundity, but not quite there. Iden has no Omicron, so not going to be much help. Starkiller at Relic 5, both of us no dash Omis. He has only a Relic 3 Wampa, which is, I think, a little too weak. And then Traya and Savage Both have Omicrons, but at gear 12. That's plenty usable though. That is better to have them than not. He does not have Afra. He does have the Omi on Zorii. That's a very usable Zorii right there. You've seen me use Zori's weaker than that, and she does great. No third sister, and Captain Rex not really touched. But with the amount of gear 11 plus units he has, that makes sense. Although he's a pretty easy character to take to gear 11, I think. No, he's easy to take to gear 10, I think. I think he needs two Kairos at gear 10. I might be misremembering him. His Moff Gideon is slow and at gear 9. This is really a character who isn't too expensive to bring up, so if yours is weaker, you should prioritize taking him up to higher gear and to a higher speed. That's not very usable, and he is very usable at gear 11, as you can see with my own. No Leviathan, no Profundity, so we have some advantages in fleets that may secure the win for me regardless of how well he does, which might mean we can actually do some testing for once, which I'm hoping to be the case. But even though he might not have those fleets, there are ways to get through my defense. We'll discuss them when we get to that point. And now we need to investigate the quality of his modding, because the counts alone don't mean as much. They are directionally informative, but we need to see how seriously he takes it. And in terms of those mods, he's a little bit slower. The final character above 300 speed is Hermit Yoda, so he only has 20 characters at that level, which is a little bit weaker to my about 30. I could have more. I've got a lot of my mods spread out, but you can see some of the characters he has below that level, like Watt, that could be faster. Bastila Fallen, definitely. Not terrible. Darth Revan, that's very slow for a Darth Revan. Han Solo, yeah. And this becomes more problematic the further down we go. Like, Darth Vader's kind of a slow character. But you can see, like, Palpatine, I would try and get faster. He has a number of characters you want fast, well below the mark that I would like to have him at, like is Rex here. Those are all characters I would be trying to get at or as close to 300 speed as possible. But he has some key characters like Echo at that level. Padme at that level doesn't matter these days. Piet is, though, above the threshold. Now for the defense, and he has attacked first. I was seeing this a little bit earlier today. He may have paused or he might be done. Maybe he saw that he couldn't clear my fleet and just gave up from there. But what we see in the front territory is he had no problem here, one-shot this area. The back territory he is not fully engaged with yet. He might return though. Trench here and Iden. Depending on how he allocated his offense, he should have the teams necessary to counter them. And here's where we get a little bit of help, Dash getting a hold, and this was because of Hondo. And that's why, even though I love Hondo, he's extremely fun, I like to have him on offense. He picks up the hold where he was the last remaining character. He couldn't, whichever counter he used, couldn't clear Hondo. And that is why Dash is on defense, even though this squad itself is mediocre otherwise. No problems with the other squads. And then with the fleet defense, he did not engage with it when I checked earlier. And this, he again does not have the Profundity. Maybe his Executor's on defense. If his Executor's on defense, I get it. And that might be what happens. But let's say he saved it for offense. Then he could do like Scythe up against the Profundity or the Executor here. He could use either a two-shot counter here, you do an Executor mirror match, use Chimera up against the Negotiator. Just depends on how he's playing it. I did not do the Saturday stream. I had social obligations yesterday, so we did not do our advanced prep. I did take a glance at this earlier. I had a small idea of what I want to do. We got Ray Swolo, so we're going to Starkiller that. Grievous here, we could do a Savage or a Wampa thing. There is a BB-8 here, so we definitely can't Bad Batch it. Lord Vader with Maul, but at least it is a weaker Kron. It's not the protection up Kron. But that means we're probably going to try and Fennec it to start, but that might go poorly. But we're probably going to have to two-shot it, at least. Then we have Malgus here, weaker Malgus comp though, so maybe we get away with that one. And also weaker mods on that Malgus. And then down below, we've got Finn with a excellent, not maybe excellent's a little strong, but a great Zorii. That is a perfect, more than usable Zorii. And then Akbar Leia, double Omi. You don't see this team too often. I'm actually kind of curious what happens to it, because it's also a team where some of these characters have been picked apart. Like none of these characters, like Stormtrooper Han probably, I don't know if better on Sana, but could be. Sana's not usable without him. Captain Han is similar deal. He's on, is he on that squad? Yeah, he's on that squad as well. And then Fulcrum is going to go over to Cere Junda. And then you have the other Rebel characters who you could have considered putting there, like Biggs and Wedge. Suddenly they're over with Saw Gerrera. So I'm really wondering how to... I'm kind of glad now I didn't place these Omis. I had considered them for a while, just because they do add some defensive complications that would have been definitely better than what I've got on defense, at least some of those squads. Phasma and Nute with a DATACRON, which is very interesting. We need to double check what this thing does. Each time Dooku inflicts ability block, gain turn meter. Okay. If we just bring in the team with a little bit of tenacity up, that'll counteract that. The only thing is, yeah, the reason I just never bothered with that crown is because I have Trench, so I just used Trench in that location. Now let's just get started. Let's just tear this apart, see what's on his back wall. What I think is back there, I did look at his history, was, I think it was like Mon Mothma is back there, or at least what I'm expecting to be back there. Maybe Tuskens and Bounty Hunters, something like that. So let's start with this. There's other counters. This might be... I think I'm still adjusting in my head that the Chupio crown is gone, so that I don't need to be as careful with how I utilize my CLS as we did while that crown was active. Because when that crown was active, there was just no sense using him anywhere else. Sure. Alright, let's hop into this. Maybe we talk some nonsense today, maybe we don't. We'll just see. Usually the more casual I approach a match, the more we talk nonsense. And the more high stakes, the more I become quiet and focused. Alright, let's see if we can just blow up Finn. That's what happened last time we faced this. Not quite this time, but pretty close. Can we do it? Awesome. Rey's not a character I would have on this squad, or R2. Like, the way that I would be playing this is Poe. You don't have to have Poe. Rose definitely. And then I would consider Resistance Trooper. You just want more exposed synergy, and this is lacking a little bit of exposed synergy. Let's see if we can rip apart Zorii. Awesome, and now we're done. Yeah, and you know he has the characters because he has Rey. So there's definitely different ways he could play it. Maybe he saw how mine functioned, but he didn't have any issue countering mine. Alright, so that is... I think I need to investigate what to do with Akbar Leia. Maybe I do like... Oh, I could do like Cere Junda. Because they're going to take so many turns, characters who get stronger the more turns a team like that takes are going to do well. So Tuskens are on defense, but Tuskens probably would do decent. I'm really tempted to do Cere Junda. You know what? Let's do a little bit of testing this round. We're going to do it. Cere Junda should have zero problem with this, but I would like to see it in action. They are going to take a lot of turns, though, which is why this is not without risk. But this is more a testament to how much I respect Cere Junda. Let's see how it goes. And if there are some holds here, like what... I'm basically counting on my fleet to hold. Pay attention to the offense here. It's going to start stacking. You're basically going to see here why I respect Cere Junda so much and why I'm so excited for the release of Cere and Malgus. Alright, we are going to AoE, they'll counter, they'll do some stuff, but I guess not counter. Alright, we're just working on taking out Captain Han first. Perfect. And again, this is all Gear 12 characters here. And this was a mostly Relic squad we're going up against. Pay attention. That's some serious damage. I was not expecting it to be that high already. And this is why I think Crew is most likely going to be on this squad, at least in the near term. This spot might get upgraded over the long term. We might get a different tanking unaligned force user in that slot. I think Malgus is going to replace Rey. Alright, Junda is probably going to get to her one shot right about now. Perfect. This is gonna be a one shot takedown. Cause she's awesome. She is so awesome. This is really one of the best squads you can be building in the game right now. As you watch my Cere and Malgus kit reveal, I was just ecstatic. You'll hear a video coming out pretty soon from Glurmid and I, on his channel, I should specify, where we discuss it, and we're just both just glowing about it. We just can't stop talking about how much we're excited for this character. I'm gonna hit Akbar because that's a big hit. Don't want to waste it on somebody in the red. And now Leia here will rip apart. Now, not the best squad like the Akbar Leia. Part of the reason I haven't set down those Omicrons is just the ceiling on an Akbar Leia is not that high. And because it's a double Ami team. Like the versions, the single Ami versions of those, they don't cut it. Alright, Phasma and Nute. Phasma and Nute. You know what I want to do? We're going to do another thing. I'm going to try out something new. Something new this week. We're going to do some more testing. I think this is going to work fine. Now keep in mind with my Night Sisters, my Saj is on defense. So this is my first week with the Merrin Omicron. And yeah. Now what this Merrin Omicron is going to do, it's going to interrupt all the turns taken by Phasma. And it makes Plague function much better than it did without the Omicron. I've only been able to use it in the first match of this week. So this is, and I don't even think it was a great test, maybe even in a cleanup situation. So this is really the first true test of this Omicron. Without the Omicron, I'm pretty sure this is a loss. Yeah, so this is not without risk. I can probably go back into my history and find this match and to see whether or not it 100% was a loss or not for my roster. But every time one of these characters dies, Merrin gets full turn meter. Now the Foresight might get a little annoying. But right there, Merrin gets another turn. Like, Merrin's Omicron really has moved up priority a bit for me. Everybody's got Foresights. I might just basic. Let's just do basic. I don't know, they're gonna just keep getting Foresight, maybe. What I need is one of these characters to die, because that'll make it a lot easier to affect the Foresight. If we can get a stun here, awesome. Because stun, we can go through the Foresight, but it's already gone. No problem. A little concerned about turn meter. Alright, we're just gonna... Oh, I should have AoE'd. We are doing specials, though, to get the plague up higher. I want Merrin back. Alright, I'm going to start spreading the plague around. Okay, they're going to start falling real soon. There goes the Omicron. Oh, we need to pay attention to some of this because we don't want these characters to heal up and lose the plague. So we're going to stay focused on Phasma a bit. But Fox and the other TIE pilot are going to die probably right now. Yeah, there goes one. And there goes the other. Let's see if we can stun Kylo. Yeah, so you can see how this was going at first, where this squad was struggling. That would have kept on going without the Omicron. Yeah, I think the Omicron, and part of the reason I want to do this, I think I'm about to 7-star Merrin. I could do it as soon as next week, or probably by the time I post this video, the final week Grand Arena. I'm gonna leave Merrin at Gear 11 for another week because I want to just continue showing Merrin at Gear 11 with the Omicron before you place that final ability where you need that Gear 12 ability. Because it's clearly a very good and very important Omicron that I should have had really weeks ago. Yeah, but that was a good result. All right. Now Nute here. I was kind of thinking troopers, but now I kind of don't want to do troopers. They're not without risk, especially with this Omicron. I think I'm just going to do Jedi. You know what? Maybe we're going to hold off a second. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's head up. Because there's a scenario in which both Fennec and JMK fail to beat Lord Vader. And in that situation, I want to have a good JML team. So I don't want to give up some of my Jedis right now, because I was about to just use Jedi Knight Revan, and now I think maybe we will do troopers if some of these counters don't work as I want and expect them to. Okay, we're grabbing Starkiller, throw on the Kron. Has there been a Starkiller Kron yet? There hasn't, right? Because I would have had it. Pretty sure I would have had it if there had been a Starkiller one. Yeah, okay. Let's see. All right, I think we're good. All right, the way we play this, make sure to stun Swolo, otherwise he can do some damage, and we didn't stun him. So the next best thing is to stagger him so he doesn't take that turn. Okay, we brought him to that level. It's AoE. Now can we stun him? Perfect. Doing this ability here on Rey, we need to get through and damage her as quickly as possible. Although we do call the assist with Starkiller on the Shatter Point so that we can get more progress towards Unleashed. Now, doing the damage here. That dodge wasn't great. Let's do some defense penetration up. Take that hit. We're basicking. Let's land a stun over here on Poe while we're spreading this stuff around. Go for some staggers. And now we hit Rey. Alright, damage immunity hit on both. We'll spread damage immunities around. Okay, Poe's down. We will AoE hit Finn. That throws him into damage immunity. Now we can't do anything but basics to get Unleashed. So that's our big project right now. I will stun Finn before he takes his turn. Okay, we don't get a stun, so he takes his turn. take that hit. AoE. Now we need to get them in the red. All right, he's down. No, was down. Let's heal up a bit. Oh, and we get our guy back. Let's hit Ray. I'm gonna stun Swolo, even though I really should be stunning JTR, because JTR's evasion is out of control now, because that's her mastery thing. So we have 2 ways to get rid of her. Oh, I guess 3 ways, because we haven't actually hit Unleashed yet. Okay, we will go with the assist. Oh, you know what? I need to attack Swolo with. There we go. Here's Unleashed. Now we'll throw this down. This should stun her because I think this is unevadable. Okay, now we can hit her while she's stunned. And she loses it that quick, really? All right, we've got other abilities we can hit her with. We just got to use those. All right, we'll throw a stun on Swolo. Alright, this ability here is unevadable. Okay, now she's hit the damage immunity. This is the other one I'm pretty sure is unevadable, but we're going to just basic because we need that damage immunity to come off before we utilize it. Alright. I think this is? No, it's not. Okay, so we have to use the one. We only have one ability that can hit her. I might just auto this even. Oh, I should have hit Swolo because he could do some damage. This here's our only hope. All right, we just got to auto. We don't have enough time for this. I just want to make sure that as this clock goes down, Solo's not back. Okay, not quite. I think we're going to have to clean this up. Yeah, we're going to let time out. We'll clean it up. No biggie. We should have attacked her sooner, before her evasion got crazy. Because if we didn't have to deal with the damage immunity, then we probably would have had enough attempts on her to take her out. Alright, let's do this one now. This will just be a little Fennec action. Do I have a preset for this? Yeah, I do. Good. I really gotta get these characters to relics. Man, this is tough. This is a mistake. I should be taking them in as the cleanup team, not the first team. I think. Don't you die on me. Oh, don't. Ah! I should just forfeit, but I'm not going to. Or should I? Because is that going to be on cooldown? We'll just let him kill me. This is as soon as I did it, I realized that it's just, this is better at cleanup since I don't have relics on everybody. They work better up against the versions without Maul at the levels that I have them at. Alright, let's give them... You know what, let's do this. I go back and forth between if I like to use this or the extra stats, but I think I do like this. Okay. Not great. Alright, we're gonna hit Maul. I need to clean up. Don't die. Not yet. Alright, we'll throw damage immunity onto him. I do not want to lose him yet. Even though resetting the attack would have been nice, but there's other ways to take out Maul. And we have this pretty much charged up. I'm actually just going to call in Cat for the assists. Okay, we don't make enough progress on Maul. I'm not really playing this the way that you ought to, but I did come in with preloaded turn meter. So a lot of this is not great. We're gonna do it now. The only reason being next turn I do want to use an ability and not have to call the ultimate then. Taking out Vader. I should do Maul. That was a mistake on my part. I did not pay attention to how many stacks of anguish he had. Don't you die on me. And what I'm not factoring in is this Datacron is making these guys way more tanky. Okay. Take out Piet. Don't die. Oh my god. Playing like a... Yeah, this is just the compounding effects of some dumb decisions. Okay, she's done. Alright, this is why I made the decisions I did with JML. Because I kind of factored in that some things might go poorly. Did not expect it because I was going to play that match in a really dumb way. So I'm just going to bring in a lot of firepower for this one. We're not going to bring in Jolie because I need these other guys here. So it means we're bringing the DATACRON. So we're not using it the way that I wanted to originally, but this is fine. Okay. We'll go with the AoE, Lance a couple ability blocks. I kind of feel like saving the marked. Now let's just get all the assists. Start spreading around the master's training. Make sure we target Lord Vader for this ability. I will increase cooldowns over here. There's only 2 dots, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to focus on Royal Guard a bit. Alright, there's a bunch of dazes, so let's just spread the master's training, not master's training, the inherited teachings around since we got to deal with that. Now let's just keep charging it up. Alright, now we will swap over with Yoda. He's got the most turn meter. I think we have another marked coming up. Yeah, let's get some foresight. Yeah, here. Now we can focus down on Piet. Okay, this clock is not great. All right, this will reset our cooldowns. Yeah, let's just mark them. Let's just get rid of them. We got to mess around with the clock now. Things are probably going to get bad with Lord Vader. And if we don't beat Lord Vader now, I don't know if we can. I should be calling in Luke or GL Luke. Lord Vader's getting stronger. We're running out of time. Okay. Let's get to work. Get to work. Get to work. Get to. We'll do this. No one has enough turn meter, we won't use that, and there's no dots. Let's save that. And now somebody's got turn meter. Oh my god! Yeah, this cron. Kind of disrespecting this cron earlier. Alright, now we just auto. Because we don't got time for nothing, and I don't think we get through Lord Vader. We're doing better than I thought. Maybe we do get through. $20. Come on. There we go. Okay, that all saved me, and this is why, though. This is why I said a moment ago, let's not do Jedi Knight Revan up against Nute, because if things spun out of control. So we saved myself because of that. Because the rest of the stuff we can get through. That was just a mess of my own making that we had to get out of. Let's grab a gas. Alright, we need some stats here. What do we want? Let's get defense. Defense. Health defense. Yeah, good enough. I'm gonna level these up and get at least to like level 5 and get some more, see if we can get more defense on some of these. He does have Sith. Does he have the Sith Trooper Kron? Is that what's going on here? No. Then why? I guess. I'm not really worried about it. Trains, we kneel, where we are in the, okay, that's not terrible. What are you gonna do, Fallen? Where are you at? Where's Fallen at? Not bad. And the turn order's wrong. That's like why modding is so important. You really need Revan to go before Fallen with those moves, so the sequencing is right, where he throws shock down on everybody. And then Fallen goes. Now, I think Archer already had shocked, but it's still worked out for me. Like, had he not had shocked, then their sequencing was such that they weren't benefiting. Can we get rid of Fallen? I want to get rid of Corrupted Battle Meditation. Counter, counter. Alright, she's down. Alright, fine. It's not great because everyone's got fear. Okay, that's the sacrifice though. Whoa. I didn't expect him to go down to that. Alright, let's take out Sith Trooper while he's easy, and now focus on Revan. And we can just auto from here. Yeah, I guess, you know what I feel like talking about today? I feel like talking about Twisted Metal. A game that I never got that into, although I played a decent amount. I never played the Twisted Metal Black. I played, I don't know, Twisted Metal 2? I don't think I played the first one. And it was always whatever. I never... I think people like Black, but I was so disinterested in the franchise by the ones that I had played that I just never cared when that game came out. And now the show's out. Now there's a show on Peacock out about it. And from what I hear, I'm actually pretty curious about it. Alright, we'll return to that stuff later. Let's get to work down below. Do I just troopers this? Let's just do it. It's not that different. We can still daze them. Like, functionally, I think we should be alright. Yeah. Like, the risk remains the same here, and the risk is Jango Fett. Although IG-100 is messing things up for me. Because I usually like to target Dooku right now, and now I gotta target IG-100. What? Oh my god. The damage immunity is really the problem here. We're gonna basic. Daze? The daze is huge. Let's get a armor shred. We'll stagger because the daze has been hit. Okay, great. Let's get some turn meter. Oh, he's not dazed. Oh, I stealthed. Okay, let's hit Dooku. Alright, well, let's hit Watt then. Let's just keep hitting these damage immunities, I guess. It's gonna mess up our train, but maybe we get out of it okay. I'm gonna save that. Okay. Wish I had another dispel. Because this is all about to go away. We can daze at least. We can still end debuffs. Oh, I need them to take a turn though. I wonder if Stark is preventing them from taking a turn. Which I guess is fine, because that'll just get me to another point when I can dispel. Because I'm... This will dispel, right? Light side. Then how did I... Dispel... Oh, must have been Piet... Not Piet, but... Moff Gideon who dispelled. Let's stagger. Or is that dispelling? Oh, that dispels the target? Is that what's going on? Okay. Next time it's Stark's turn, we'll double check what that says. Yeah, it's that ability. We'll just let them take their turns. They'll go down easy. We got rid of the scary one. This dispels then. Yeah, that dispels the target. That's what we did. Like none of these dispel. That's armor shred. Yeah, let's just land an armor shred on Jango. I'm gonna basic because I don't want to hit that stagger. Alright, basic. We let them take their turns. That's annoying. Alright. Let's hit some of this quick. I'm just gonna basic. Ooh, I'm worried about this clock. I need Jango to take his turns, but he needs to take like 2 turns. I'm not paying enough attention to this clock. Alright, we need to start doing paying the debt so he takes turns. Yeah, keep paying the taxes because he's got to take turns. This is... I was not paying enough attention to the clock. I think Nute still has to die once, though. Alright, I got an auto and basic. This is taking too long. It's this Stark's taking turn meter away is the problem here. That last turn I wanted to hit Nute. I shouldn't have taken it off of auto there. But I mean, some of that's how I was playing it. Some of that is why I was concerned about troopers. But really that was mostly the DATACRON. I had not anticipated. I was not. Oh, I did not check for that level 6 ability. Why don't I just do this? Because this isn't a real team yet. Yeah, this isn't a real team. I don't have relics on it. Ooh, you already took out Assassin like that? That's irritating. There's no ultimate. There's not relics on Sith Eternal Emperor. But it should be able to handle this fine. And if it doesn't, that's horrible and embarrassing. And you can already see like Jango's taking his turn. Like that's the difference of Stark. Stark pulling that turn meter away was an issue. Alright, let's just get rid of Nute. Because I think this is going to go poorly for me. This is awful. Okay, can I just bait with the bit? No. Alright, let's use this ability. God. I gotta get him 2 relics. That was kind of alarming at how like non-functional he is at that level. Alright. Let's just do some testing and have some fun. I'm going to do Captain Rex up against the Tuskens. This is probably too weak for Captain Rex. Maybe that's way too weak for Captain Rex. But I think Bosk is too powerful, and Mon Mothma I think I did last time and it didn't work at all. Yeah, let's just do this. Or should I do Ewoks here? Let's do Ewoks because I'm pretty sure Captain Rex is going to be fine, and we really got to figure out if there's any use for Kneesaa. And it's really feeling like no. And Tuskens probably should be pretty strong up against Ewoks. Because with how momentum works, all the turns that Ewoks could potentially take is going to make the Tuskens are going to be able to counter that, or should be able to counter that pretty effectively. Warrior's really the threat as far as I'm concerned. they the Tuskens fall apart without warrior. I'm gonna basic. Yeah, so they're gonna be able to do a decent amount of stunning. Does this dispel? Yeah. Okay, that was a good amount of assists from Kneesaa. Awesome. Now, let's do this. Let's hit Chieftain. That's going to land a stun onto Kneesaa and Wicket. But hopefully we can... Now, they're only going to get stunned if there's 10 stacks of momentum or more when we hit a Tusken. Now let's get rid of these stuns, heal up a tiny bit. And the big thing to keep in mind here, these are really weak Tuskens. Okay, I'll land a stun. We're not really learning too much though, because there were two, what, Gear 8, Gear 9 characters here. And I didn't check the Zetas. After Shaman's down, we'll probably just auto. Okay. We'll call in Wicket just to get rid of the stun. We'll basic because he's dead. Alright, let's just do this. I'm going for Aurora really only because he should be easier and faster to take out. But let's auto. Yeah, so Twisted Metal TV series. From what I've heard, it's pretty good. Like it's not like the Rogan Goldberg duo, but I think somebody from The Boys worked on it, and another show. Like there's some decent pedigree. Like Anthony Mackie is obviously the star, but the reviews so far are generally positive. And it's a post-apocalyptic story, and I like post-apocalyptic stories, so I'll probably give it a shot. Plus, I was thinking about giving Peacock a month anyway, because I want to watch. I want to watch Yellowstone, because it's those Taylor Sheridan shows. Because I've watched all his movies, and all his movies are really good. They're really smart, so I'm curious what Yellowstone is going to be like. Alright. Clock is at a point where we're probably not going to clear this, but maybe we get through it. We're through the protection. Kneesaa just doesn't do enough damage. And I don't really feel like I'm missing Logray. Awesome. Ewoks take down a pretty flawed team. That means we are going to do Captain Rex up against Mon Mothma, and this should go very poorly. Because I'm pretty sure I've already done this. I don't remember. I guess when I did it, I didn't have the Omicron, so this is probably worth testing. See if the Omicron makes a difference. But they should outspeed me unless is... I don't know how the modding is on this squad. It's the wrong makeup. Like, this is not the type of squad I would have. So this is... Even if we were to win this, I don't really feel like we're learning too much. I'm going to just spread around these stuns. So every time there's an assist on somebody with a daze, Zeb is going to stun them. So we are going to take advantage of that and make a little bit of progress. This is protection up, right? So let's throw protection up over here. Okay, now we can stun Wedge. I don't know if I'm going to worry about Biggs, because if we attack him, he's just going to take more turns. We'll spread the stuns around, though. And we're just using the specials so we can land some more stun. So we get the assists. Because every assist is... Or every special is an assist. I should have done a special there. I feel like I need to speed up everybody. I think my Zeb is probably pretty slow. And that's one of the things we're definitely seeing here. The damage output is really just insufficient. And we're not landing the stun over on Wedge, is why the only reason I kept hitting him was because I was trying to get that stun. Yeah, this damage output's pretty pathetic. We just got to be focused. We're not going to make any progress if we don't stay focused on somebody. If I did do this before, this is definitely going better than before. It's possible this is my first time doing this, though. Really have no idea. Alright, we're going to take out Lando because he should be the easiest one to take out now. Lando's pretty weak. Wedge is too, but I think Lando's weaker. Okay, now Katarn's back. Alright, can we just take out somebody quick? Because, yeah, the biggest thing we're seeing here is just there's not enough damage output for us to do anything. And really, I should be concerned about Katarn getting to Jedi Knight, but right now I'm just trying to take out a body. Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, I was hesitant about putting the Omicron on Rex. I think it'll be fine for later once we have all these characters at relics, but right now what we're seeing is there's just not enough here. Alright, we gotta stun Katarn. He's starting to do some real damage. You know what, let's just forfeit, because I want to do some testing. I don't care that Lando's gone. What I'd like to do now, let's do something more interesting, and more interesting equals Wookiees. And if it wasn't clear, I've already shifted over to a mindset that I'm just expecting my opponent to not clear my fleets. I should really update this preset. By the start of the 3v3 season, Tarfful and really all the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis characters will be at 7 stars. They're like 15 away. Like Tarfful, I think, is like 15 away. Right, let's do this. I wanted to get provoked on a few of these guys. Sure. Really would love a Relic Vandor, but it's just the continuing project of I got so many things to work on. This might be another situation where I shouldn't be going after oh, what is this? That Datacron, the health Datacron? That's the other thing. You know what? This Datacron is making testing things much more difficult. Because it may have been actually a thing where Captain Rex was probably okay. And it's the Datacron that is affecting my ability to actually get any results from testing. I really need to be focused on Katarn. Okay, we are. Yeah, mission lands the days. Katarn's gonna blow up mission when he takes his turns. We do have some ramping up damage and health. I really wish that Armor Shred was more consistent. Okay, he's hit Jedi Knight, so he can do some big stuff now, some big boy stuff. Alright, Katarn is down, he'll get revived right now, because why not? Let's do a mass assist, maybe we can take out Lando and give Mon Mothma some options. Not quite. We can't really rely on Provoked here because they dispel it all the time, like when they take their turns. Okay. This should take out Lando. Let's take out Wedge. Let's see if we can just get myself to an advantage so this speeds up a little bit. Maybe we'll have a little less work to do. Do I have any more testing to do? Is there another team I'm forgetting that I'd like to test? I guess Saw, not really. Alright, I'm going to get all these assists onto Biggs. Yeah, let's just be focused on Katarn. Let's auto. What can you guys do? See, this would have been an easy win if they were at relics. But this is the continued project of trying to see what can we do with some of these weaker characters. Or not weaker characters, but these in-progress characters, because it's like that's the big project. Or not the big, but one of the big projects of this channel is always to see what can we do while things aren't ready completely. Had we hit auto sooner, I think we could have taken out Katarn. Alright, let's just clean that up with like Wampa or something. Who cares? Oh, this one's easy. Let's just JTR Swolo this. I kind of feel like we're done testing. Let's just shift to a clear this quick mode. I need a couple bodies so I can use a cron. Let's get light side. You have to use light side characters with Swolo. And usually I'll throw in armor and nest because I'm not really using them elsewhere these days. Really there might be something else within Swolo's kit that a full squad benefits, I don't recall. But it's the big motivation is just to protect R2 with some other bodies. Otherwise, you want to keep some resistance characters on the squad, but I don't have them at relics, and I'm really trying to avoid doing that. I don't want to. Okay. Let's stun boss. Or not. He's doing no damage today. Alright, let's throw some dazes. No? Fine. Okay, there she goes. There goes those extra stats. This is going to be a little bit easier. That's why we're going after Zam first, because of her ability to make everybody more survivable. I can ignore taunt with Swolo. He's going to be able to just do a lot more work without Zam around. At least that's the promise of him, but I'm not really feeling it. I do think I need to I'm going to change his mods for next week. He's modded for offense right now, and the more I use him, the more I think that's wrong. And I did that because I think that's what this is the predominant modding on SWGOH.GG, and I think he needs to be modded for crit damage. Because this stuff should be one-shots, but I think it's because he's not critting that they're not one-shots. Let's get rid of Embo. Embo's kind of doing some sneaky damage here. I guess not sneaky, but... Okay, there goes my buddy. It's like those kinds of hits. I guess there's is this another Datacron? Yeah. Is that Datacron gonna stop me from doing my thing with Swolo? I think it is. That's the other thing that's going on, is this Datacron. This Datacron is just making everybody so much more survivable. I'm really hoping the next Datacron set can offset some of that with some offense. Alright. I mean, I guess we could throw in like a Saw Gerrera. Now let's just wrap this up. Let's do Inquisitors and wrap it up. There's no testing up against 3-man squads. Maybe we'll do Savage up against Grievous? Is that? No, let's just be done with this. I just want to be done. No, we're going to do Savage because I haven't been able to test out that Kron yet. And we got to test out that Kron. Okay, well, AoE. All right, let's move on. Really, I'm basing a whole lot on the expectation that, oh, you know what? I forgot that I had the cleanup array. Anyway, that's fine. You know, this is that health one too, right? He's been good about doing that. My concern is that extra health on Grievous means Grievous's health pool is even better, so offensively he's going to be even better. So this might be a very foolish thing to do. Let's check the modding here. Let's see how well he's modded. It's okay. It's like the minimum level. I don't think the crit damage is an option, but really he should be modded a little bit better if you want to do the crit damage. Okay. I think I have the wrong levels. Not I think. I have the wrong level 6 ability for this Kron. I do need to re-roll. I think we just need to auto. Because, like, this is my first time using the Kron, because I took him to level 7, Relic 7 this week. Alright. I do think, though... Do I have the right... What level 6 ability... Level 3 ability do I have on this? Okay. Yeah, I'm giving him the stats. I'm just worried that I'm going to lose my Savage. Because the level 9 ability, the turn meter removal, I don't think I care about it. Because I know it's one that's a lot of people have talked up. I was always skeptical. So I need to see it for myself in action. Okay. Okay. Alright, this should take out B2. Oh, no, he healed up. Heal up. We're running out a lot of clock, and those stacks on B2 are not going down, or not B2, B1, are not going down all that fast. Yeah, okay, this isn't working. We're going after B1. We'll just let B2 take all the turns he wants. Because B1's just healing up B2 faster than we're doing anything to him. And you know what? I think I knew this, because it's not like this is the first time I've done this counter. Oh man, Droidica. Okay. Take that hit. This will take out B2 real quick. Now we need to take out Droidica before that damage immunity comes back up. And that's really the nice part about this. Okay, we're gonna have to absorb a big hit now. Oof. Okay, good. Honestly, I have no idea what the DATACRON did. Because it's not like this is different than what normally happens. Okay. I feel like I know no more now about that Kron than I did before. What do we want to do? Wampa? Afra? Saw Gerrera? Treya? Anything fun? Let's just throw in Saw Gerrera. It's really a dumb thing to do, but my minimum expectation for any character is they should be able to clean up a single relic. Like, they should be able to do this. Because that's going to blow up. It did a little bit of damage. Now Saw... See, the thing is, I have been okay, that went fast. I have been considering the Omi on Saw. But I get the feeling... I'm concerned that it's another one of those, like, low-ceiling Omis, like an Akbar Leia. Where you definitely need it on Saw for Saw to function as intended. But... it might not be something that matters. Okay, I was really counting on the Executor being here. Is it not here? Okay. Chimera is here, though, so that means... oh, it means he does have enough to beat me. I think. Because he does have the Executor, so he can do, like, Executor Profundity. He can do Malevolence up against my Executor... and then the Negotiator, he can Negotiator. He can win, in theory. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll check his history, see how he plays Fleet. He's got Reaper, TIE Fighter, Gauntlet on the front lines here. Like, that's not a fleet. We're gonna go with Reaper first because with Reaper, He's going to feed turn meter to the capital ship if whenever anything dies. So getting rid of that function is important. That's annoying. We're going to take out Gauntlet. I just don't want to go after the TIE fighter because it's going to just generate a bunch of turn meter when it dodges. Now we don't have a choice about it. See, if you watch the turn meter on the capital ship, you see what I'm talking about. Of course he's like, he takes the basic, but he dodges the droids. The stun's huge, because now he can't dodge. Great. Ooh, really? Yeah, the defenders here, I'm feeling a lot better about my defense. Because it means he doesn't have like this. Ooh, don't. We need to bring another ship out. Alright, we're gonna basic because of the foresight. Well, we still have my main Vulture droid. He's gonna die. But it's still my main one. Alright, let's land some more buzzies here. Okay, we lost 2. That means we get a bunch of turn meter. We're still a turn away though. We need to bring out the soldier. We need another ship. He didn't use a Sith fleet though, so this ship isn't doing anything. I mean, it doesn't do much without the Leviathan anyway, but it's the... Well, the buzz droids aren't going to stick because each stack is another thing, right? Is that what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, so buzz droids are wasted on it. Okay. Alright. Now we got Raven's Claw, which... How do we want to play that? I might Scythe it. The Rebels... Do we want to Sith it up? That might be... We could just Empire it to make it easy. I mean the Chimera Empire. I think that's... We'll do Executrix here. Alright, we'll land a buff immunity over on Rose. Nope. Those ability blocks actually do help, and we don't get to keep them. Do not die on me. Oh my god, do not die on me. Alright, we gotta heal up a little bit. I'm a little concerned about how slow this is going. Ghost doesn't help them, so that's good. We get some formation stacks. Don't freeze on me. Okay. We did get a lot of formation stacks. I think that's why it lagged for a moment. Okay, he's gone. Now I'm going to work on Ray. Although they have evasion up, but just let me start attacking you. Come on. Alright, that was a good hit. Alright, that'll take out Ray. Now we're getting in a much better situation. I was getting a little concerned. They would be much better off had Poe come out. But Ghost does me a big favor. That's another waste. It makes me wonder if Poe's even one of the reinforcements. Okay. Because without resistance ships, they cannot get to the ultimate. It's really important to have the resistance ships come out, which is why, like, being careful with your reinforcements is pretty important. Because offensively, these other ships weren't a threat, so I didn't even pay attention to them. Like, even though they didn't have evasion up, and they were easy to take out, I just treated them as if they weren't there. Because they're not the win condition. Alright, now the Chimera. This one's easier because the Chimera is a stronger rebel counter. Because of the bomber. The bomber counters rebels. No, let's hit the Y-wing. Bring out the interceptor. Alright, Y-wing down. His Bison's probably pretty weak since he doesn't have the Profundity, and because it didn't go first. That means the gear is probably much lower on it. Okay. We don't need to do this, but we're doing it. So this is one of the things where, like, this is a 5GL player, obviously doing pretty well, but his fleet is pretty weak. Like, his fleet games, like, a lot, you could see it in the other ships, like the non-main ships, and even some of these lineups, really just the Chimera lineup and the Akbar lineup, not really set up in a strong way where his fleet's not really going to win things for him. Where I think if you're going to have fewer GLs, you need to be strong in those other kinds of places. But we'll see where he wraps up. He still has all of his good offensive ships for offense. I did goof off a lot, so there is plenty of room for him to make up banners if he can clear my ships. It's still technically possible for him to win, so we'll check back. And the final round was a win, making it a 3-0 week, and that's what happens in Kyber 3. We make up some lost crystals. So for next season, we will be back in Kyber 2, and we will see how it goes. For the round 3 wrap-up, this is what it looks like with the defense. We'll do this defense first, then we'll look at round 1 and round 2. So my round 3 opponent, the way that this went is he could not full clear me, and it came down to fleets like I thought, which is why we played it the way that we did, doing the amount of testing that we did, because I felt pretty confident that I was going to win regardless of how he went on squads. And with squads, Bad Batch, Qui-Gon, Gas downs Malgus, SWGOH against Jabba, JML against my Maul with Django-Kron, CLS takes down Sana, Starkiller taking down Zorii, Qui-Gon though falling to my Dash Hondo, and you can see Hondo is the one who locks it down, and this becomes a timeout. And this is what happens with Hondo. He just starts going crazy and becomes pretty awesome. So this is a pretty nice result that I'm happy with. Grand Inquisitor taking down the Tuskens, Fennec cleaning up the Hondo, and I respect this, where he just doesn't mess around, whereas like he brings in a lot of firepower and makes sure he wins it. Because sometimes you think, okay, I'm just going to bring in something small for a cleanup, and you can get in trouble. Not necessarily, yeah, and because I also have the Hondo Omi, which means he's going first. JMK Raddus, Tread, the Trench, Wampa, the Iden. Really straightforward stuff. Executor takes down the Profundity in one, but then here his Finalizer fails up against the Executor, and in this situation here where he didn't even make any progress to take out any of the ships, he wasn't really in a position to take multiple attempts to try and take it down, and he didn't have enough fleet depth in order to win from there. Now for round 1, round 2, we'll take a look at those defenses now, and that means we're not going to put defense, Grand Arena no, maybe we still will. We'll see what I do in terms of if I'm showing this recap again. It's just this kind of loss at the end of these videos. Sometimes maybe it depends on how interesting it is. But here Hammer, up against Zorii, brings in Geos, full relics, and that falls and gives preloaded turn meter. Moff Gideon here taking down the Tuskens, JTR falling to the preloaded, and this is just why this squad is so awesome. This is a mix of Gear 12, Gear 11 characters, and what's really important is this works with a 3-starry, no Omicron Zorii. Like, Zori's an amazing character, gets me holds all the time, really love this. Grievous, Dash, Shakti, Sana, Bosk, finally cleaning up the Zorii squad. Profundity Mirror, Executor Mirror fails, then the Malevolence fails up against the Negotiator, Leviathan fails with the preloaded Executor, and he just couldn't clear the fleet, and he gave up from there. He did have a lot more firepower with squads, but he knew he couldn't win without getting through fleet, and I full cleared him without too much issue. With Moradin here, this was a banner match. This guy was playing great. He, I think he one-shot my board. This came down to me getting lucky with the fleet hold, because this one, it looked like this one was in question throughout, and he had set down a weak enough defense that it was pretty clear he wasn't going to have a lot of issues on his offense. SWGOH Jabba, Sith Eternal Emperor Malgus, and he's using a lot of undersized squads too. So Rey Swolo taking out Qui-Gon, JML solo with the Wampa, Bad Batch Sana, Troopers Finn, Gas, CLS, then Profundity Mirror winning, and then Executor here fails. Makes some decent progress, but this is pretty huge. This is where I win the match. Negotiator Mirror wins, cleans up with the Leviathan, but I one-shot his board, and I get a hold, which makes the difference. JMK the Trench, Tread the Raddus. So really happy to get a 3-0 week. It's pretty rare these days when I'm spending the majority of my time in Kyber 2, where usually we're going 2-1 or 1-2. A 3-0 week is pretty much impossible for my roster in Kyber 2 unless we're getting help from inactive players, and maybe in 3v3 we can get it. We can get a 3-0 week. Usually we need some Datacron help and stuff. But we might be seeing a bit more of this as we move forward, because we might be bouncing back and forth between Kyber 2 and 3 over the near term. That's kind of how I think things might play out. But we've got a lot more content coming and on the way. So thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everyone. This is still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.